A heavy but hopefully kind of healing couple weeks on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for you. How are you feeling about everything you filmed in Augusta making its way to TV and the world getting a window into the world from which you come?
Yes, it's been very different for me to kind of expose my family to the world and have that happen. It was a really cathartic trip for me and a really helpful one. So when my dad shot himself, my mother was home. She was in the kitchen. So maybe I do have a little pinned up resentment. There, I said it. It's one of the reasons I love doing this show. I always get something out of it, and I'm always sort of grateful to Bravo for that purpose. My mom is so great, and she's really loving. You know, we're very different mothers, but, you know, I just want everybody to know that she's so wonderful. You know, she's quite something, and she doesn't miss a beat. I just want better. We can do better. I know we can. Yeah. I'm just, like, overwhelmed that she's saying we can do better, and it gives me such hope for our relationship going forward.
5 seasons into this journey, why was now the time to go back home and share all this?
I think this show has also given me this opportunity to grieve my father's death. And, you know, after, you know, he shot himself and it was so traumatic for our family. I never really took the time and to understand my deep grief from that. So the past few years, I have really explored that and really understood what it is to be a survivor of suicide. So to go into my childhood home, which I had been there before my brother lived there after my mother moved out, but to really go there.
With the purpose of walking through,
right,
letting the memories surface and the feelings come up.
Right, I was just ready. And you know, this journey has been so, it feels like it's been forever, but it takes a long time. I remember when he died, I wouldn't come in this room. It took me months. I would stand over there, I couldn't come in.
Well, you said things have not been right for 20 some odd years since this happened. So right. Did you get ultimately what you needed out of the trip? Oh yeah, I mean, that and so much more. I think Garcelle and Kyle and I, the three of us really bonded in a real way. And whether we were on camera or off, we got close. And so I love that. I just love, like, when friends come together, I'm like, yay, finally, we did it. It was back to your roots to plant some roots for some other things, kind of full circle. Oh, I love that. So Reba, has she reacted to herself on television? I have not, no. I have not. The only thing, my son just accepted a place in a college for next year. So our family's been kind of focused on that. Did he have a reaction to her calling him weird?
James is kind of weird, but smart.
Mom, why would you call James weird? He's like the cool one. You know, no, I spoke to him about it with her over Thanksgiving, just that it was going to come up.
Like a heads up.
A heads up.
Grandma said this
Yeah,
thing.
But, you know, James is so resilient. Yeah, he's the youngest. He's, you know, he's used to brother and sister and cousin, and so it didn't bother him.
Didn't faze him.
Also, they love, they call her BB so much, and they laugh at her. They think she's so funny. So, you know, it's like, oh, BB.
Did anything in the episode surprise you? Because there were moments Reba shared, especially like with Garcelle, that you weren't present for.
She would just love to hear you say that you're proud of her and that you love her too. I feel like I can say something to you.
I don't think that's any of your business.
I don't know if it was me or Garcelle, that she was like the favorite and that her father really wanted her to be strong. I hadn't really heard that. And talking about like post-World War II and how people kind of reacted to that, I hadn't heard those stories. There were a few stories about her childhood that I hadn't heard.
I have to go back to the way I was raised.
Okay.
Which was WW2 post. And in those days, like, nobody ever told me I was pretty when I was growing up. And it didn't matter whether I was pretty or ugly. I kept going. because that was the way it was in those days.
It's funny because my mother, she's a psychotherapist, and she's retired now, but they're used to asking questions, not answering questions.
And being very neutral.
Being very neutral. So to see her kind of be in the hot seat, I kind of enjoyed it. But, you know, I loved learning from her, and knowing that maybe in her house they never said I love you. It wasn't necessary to say I'm proud of you. But for others now, I don't need it all the time.
But it's nice to hear.
It is nice to hear.
What did you make of Garcelle going,
apple tree?
What did she say? You're both awkward but lovable.
Well, I mean, I would say that we're both awkward but lovable. Garcelle never met my father. So I think I was sort of like apple tree, because I think my mother and I are very different in a lot of ways. So I was like, okay, maybe, and first of all, you know, I love Avi so much. And we go back and forth. Our banter is quite something. And Avi is my house manager in Augusta. So he and my mother talk.
Okay, so they have a relationship.
Lot. Yes. So, you know,
because their dynamic was funny to watch too.
They are always going at it.
I don't want to overcook them.
You don't want dry grits. Turn it off.
That's what I asked, but okay.
You know, I'm used to
They're like the odd couple.
Yes.
I want this over here. Well, I want it over here.
They do this every day. They do it every day. You know, and sometimes I'm the referee between them. She loves Avi.
I think Garcelle was also trying to psychoanalyze this relationship a little bit.
Sutton had a relationship with her dad that she didn't have with her mom. I think there was some jealousy there.
I think that my mother, she told me on my first season, she said my relationship was very different with your father than yours was. And I understand that now in a different way, just with my children and their relationship with their father and my relationship with their father. You know, with my ex-husband, my mother could have been a little jealous of how my father showed his love for me. And maybe he wasn't able to do that for her in a way, I don't know.
What do you think your dad would make of where your life has landed in LA on television?
Oh golly, I don't know. I think he would be proud. And I had a therapist tell me one time, going through grief, no, your father is proud. And I think my father is proud of me.
Did Reba make it to LA for the fashion show? Because I was there and I don't remember seeing her.
It was when there was that huge tech problem.
Oh,
and
when all the airports went down.
Yes. She didn't actually get to make it in person. My mom was literally at the airport for 12 hours waiting for her flight.
Gosh.
I know, which says volumes about where we had come in our relationship that
Totally.
day. Yeah.
The fashion show is where Kathy almost becomes runway roadkill.
Kathy, get out of the way! Kathy!
You better grab your sister.
Where is she going?
Kathy Hilton, I swear I love her so much. She's the best. But I'm like, what? Why? And that is one of my very good friend's daughter, Wisdom.
Who
she's
taps
the model.
her.
Yes, and she's like my goddaughter, and she's a real deal model. And she handled it so gracefully.
Yes.
It's like, ma'am.
No one wound up in the pool.
No one.
Everyone was fine.
I know. Good thing I couldn't see that part, or I probably would have lost my mind. I was like, just, can you go sit down? Because the music had started.
Right. It's like, Kathy, just take a seat. And then she took a minute to figure out which one was her seat.
What was her seat? I know. Oh,
but
Lord.
That's a nice night because it looks like everyone kind of got along, had fun, which we can't say all the time in this group. We got that mid-season trailer. It looks like it's going to be a tough back end of the season for you. You are in a lot of drama. Why?
Well, because I open my mouth and I can't help it. I just say things and I get angry sometimes, and I'm trying to work on that and not be so quick to say things right now, something I've been working on. I think I can say things in a more gentle way.
Okay. When I sat down with Erika, her wish for the group was that you and Garcelle would share more of your real lives. And she didn't really expand on that.
I'd like for Sutton and Garcelle to reveal their lives.
Are there things that you are privy to that the audience isn't privy to?
Not necessarily.
Okay. What did you make of that statement when she said it? And what would be left to share?
This is my 5th season. I've talked about my father shooting himself when I was 32 years old. I've talked about my divorce. I've talked about, my daughter going to college. Now I've talked about my relationship with my mother. So, I mean, what else do you want from me, Erika?
Is there anything you would like Erika to open up more about or share?
Oh, I just leave Erika alone.
Okay.
I think I'm good.
You don't want another or what moment.
Don't talk to me like that.
Or what?
Seriously.
Or what?
Or nothing.
Right, exactly. Shut the up.
We do see her tell you in that mid-season trailer.
You pose as a friend and then oftentimes work as an enemy.
When she said those words to you, what went through your head?
Oh, a lot. Just history, I think, went through my head. I think that's what I was thinking. Like, okay, are we going backwards here?
It does feel like a rehash of what we already talked about at Kyle's Western party. Like this, didn't we already have this conversation?
Right. Or 3 years ago, did we have this conversation?
Fair. Things are also going to be heated between you and Dorit.
You're such a bitch.
Don't call me a bitch in my home, for sake.
Why call her the B word in her own home? What pushes you to that point?
I am not going to tell you that, Brice. You know I'm not.
Why do you think there is such friction for the two of you? Why can't you two just find a place to exist?
I don't know. But I hope that we can find it.
Is the B word born out of her just simply not greeting you when you showed up for the house for the party and you having to sit alone for a while?
Brice, I tell you what. This smells good. Hello? 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 The idea that I would have people come to my house and I'm not there to greet them, or Avi's not there to greet them, someone's not there, a roach isn't there to greet them, boggles my brain.
A lot of attention was paid to you interrupting her talking about Jagger, asking questions about the divorce.
He said, but you and Daddy, you're always going to be friends, right? Best friends. And I was like, well, I sure hope so. I said,
there's incentive for you.
Certainly.
Yeah, that breaks my heart.
Can I ask you a question?
Speaking of best friends, I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt. I'm so sorry. Speaking of best friends, I did get a note from Garcelle.
Do you regret the way you handled that moment, or do you stand by what you did?
Well, so I rarely do this. I almost never break fourth wall, but I was told to do that because we had to leave.
Okay.
So, at some point, I mean, we had been there a while and we had to get to Garcelle's house. And I was the person.
I think it would
and I didn't do it well. I was bad at it.
Yeah, you tried to find a segue. It was an awkward segue.
I tried to find the segue. I'm not a seguist.
I think it would have been helpful for the viewers who don't live in LA to have like a time on it's going to take 2 hours for them to get where they need to go.
It took us 2 hours and we were on a timeline,
Right.
We had lunch planned. Garcelle had all of these.
Yeah, that whole beach day to film.
Yeah. So we just kind of needed to go. And this wasn't I don't know. I wasn't good at it. I will admit I was not good at it.
Then there's this back and forth on a boat. Boats are never good.
Oh, I hate the boats. Don't put us on a boat.
And then you tell her,
You need to pick on somebody else whose wallet fits. Think you're bigger than her? I think my wallet is.
why did that slip out of your mouth? What did you mean by that?
I'm not going to give away anything. But it was.
But what do you mean? Because that to me implies like you taking someone to court, kind of.
No.
Okay.
No, but it was not my finest moment.
Okay. Roped into this is Beauvais, who became very fast friends with Dorit.
Stop being Dorit's spokesperson.
I'm having a conversation with her, and everything she said, you have to back up. I was thinking, listening.
Do you think Beauvais is a little bit of Dorit's mouthpiece?
I don't know. I think that Beauvais can speak for herself. She's a pretty strong woman. Yeah. So I think she has her own opinions.
But their dynamic is, we've never seen Dorit bond with somebody this fast and have like this defender in her corner.
Right.
So that's a different dynamic.
Right.
So what's it been like to experience Dorit with backup, essentially?
Yeah. Well, I mean, great for Dorit, It's really good.
Everyone needs somebody.
Yeah, I mean, especially, it's a tough group. So if you feel like you've got somebody that's really holding your hand through tough times, I think that's something to be celebrated.
we've been riding the wave of your and Kyle's friendship, which for the most part the season has been in a good spot. And Augusta, I think, brought it to an even more
very firm,
grounded spot. Did the 1-2 punch, though, of you suggesting there was infidelity in her marriage and Garcelle telling her be a lesbian if you want to be a lesbian, cause any steps back in the friendship?
No.
Okay.
Kyle and I are great.
We're headed to St. Lucia. How would you describe that trip? You sport a thong and a carnival outfit.
Yes. The carnival outfit made me a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie.
Look, I have a thong on.
It's such a beautiful island, and we were in this beautiful resort. So it's always that juxtaposition when we go on these beautiful trips where it's, and then we're fighting. I'm like, why are we fighting in St. Lucia? But, I think all in all, I think I gave the trip a 7.
Okay.
Which I thought was pretty high.
That's a pretty high rating for a Housewives trip.
Yeah.
After we get through St. Lucia, we'll go to Reunion.
Yeah.
How are you? Okay, that was a heavy yeah. How are you feeling about Reunion this time around?
Well, I'm not gonna faint.
That's good.
Yes.
I'd like you to be there the whole time so you can contribute the whole time and say your piece the whole time.
I only missed the last 2 hours, so we are clear.
But it was a big chunk of what we watched on TV that you
was
were
it?
not there
Well,
for.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I got very sick. I was very ill.
I'm glad you're able to sit here today with us.
Yes,
and
me too.
It's not a different story.
Me too. I think going into Reunion is always a bit scary, but I've said I'm sorry so many times. And I've also apologized for things that I've said to faces this season. So, I know I'm gonna get it.
Is there one thing you really want to take away from that day or make sure happens that day?
Well, I like things to be resolved. I do. It makes me sleep better at night.
Is there one person in particular you want to walk away in a better place with?
I think there's a few.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to have the toughest go at Reunion, face the most Andy Cohen questions?
I think that Kyle seems to be in the hot seat this season. I'm probably going to get it pretty bad. And I think Dorit is, she's really strong this season. And she'll have a lot to say. Did
it feel like a different Dorit to you, or is this Dorit you've always experienced?
No, it's the same Dorit, just a little bit louder.
You've always need a moment.
On your personal front, last season we watched you date and explore dating.
Yeah.
Are there any love life updates? You and Craig Conover were together. I assume you filmed something together or something, and people were like, "Ooh, this could be something." No, he's just a cutie pie friend. But he certainly is a cutie pie. Yeah.
No, we're just friends, and we were doing something the same day. And so, my son goes to school in Charleston, and so we have this affinity for Charleston, and no, we're just friends.
Okay, but is there any love life happening right now?
No.
No?
Just my work.
Work is the love of your life and your kids.
It really is. I'm focused on that, and I've got to get my son to school.
Is he splitting time between LA and London?
No.
No, he's here with you.
Yes, he's here with me. Yep. He'll see his father in summer. He'll go there for maybe a month, and Christmas he'll go over there. But
have you talked to your ex about? There's always so much attention paid to the results of your divorce and the settlement and stuff. Does he have thoughts on that being such a conversation for the world? If he does, you don't care?
I have thoughts on it.
What are your thoughts on it?
My thought, I didn't like that it was out there.
Yeah.
It's very uncomfortable, and maybe it changes perceptions of me.
Yeah. Well.
But that's okay.